Chapter 2791, Horrible Pill Refining Technique. The three prominent celestial alchemists felt that Yuan Lingtan's feeding technique was too clumsy and crude, and they could not help but feel anxious. Out of the first 4 steps of the pill refinement process, it can be seen that he doesn't place much importance in the way he retrieves the ingredients. His positioning of the pill cauldron and feeding the ingredients to the pill cauldron are unsightly as well. As for the heating of the pill cauldron, it remains to be seen if it's successful. After all, in my opinion, it's impossible to heat a pill cauldron in half an hour. Let's continue observing. Situ Ming said as he shook his head. Yu Zongjing nodded. At the same time, after Yuan Lingtan was done feeding the ingredients to the pill cauldron, he extended his divine consciousness into the pill cauldron to have a look at the situation inside. However, he discovered his divine consciousness could not approach the pill cauldron at all. What's going on? How powerful is his celestial fire? Even my divine consciousness can't go near it. He was amazed to discover an aura from the pill cauldron had blocked his divine consciousness. He could barely catch a glimpse of what's happening in the pill cauldron. However, at this moment, his attention was fully focused on Yuan Lingtan's celestial fire. What kind of prominent celestial fire does he own? It managed to block my divine consciousness from such a distance. Yang Chong exclaimed in surprise. You're also blocked? Situ Ming asked as he looked at Yang Chong in disbelief. So it's the same for both of you as well. Yu Zongjing was quick to realize that he was not the only one whose divine consciousness was blocked. Through what little his divine consciousness managed to glean, he suddenly said, he's beginning to refine the pills. He has begun to refine the pill. Let's see his pill refining techniques. The three prominent celestial alchemists shifted their attention back to Yuan Lingtan as Yuan Lingtan carried out the 5th step, which was the refining process. All 3 men watched unblinkingly as they tried to use their divine consciousness to glean what little they could as well. Their expression turned from solemn to strange suddenly when they saw Yuan Lingtan refining the pills. Indeed, Yuan Lingtan seemed quite skilled in refining pills, but it was clear to them that most of his skills came from his celestial fire. Without the celestial fire, his refining techniques were rather weak. Yang Chong thought to himself, although his refining techniques are weak, with the help of his prominent celestial fire, his efficiency is way higher than mine. It's truly terrible to make comparisons. How did he obtain such an extraordinary prominent celestial fire? Is it even a prominent celestial fire? Even supreme celestial alchemists with their supreme celestial fires wouldn't be as efficient as him, right? Situ Ming thought to himself. Yu Zongjing shared the same thoughts as well. After 3 hours, the 3 prominent celestial alchemists discovered Yuan Lingtan had completed refining the pill. They were amazed by his remarkable speed. This prominent celestial fire is truly remarkable. If I have this prominent celestial fire, with my refining techniques, I'd need 2 hours at most to complete the refining of the pills. Me too. The 3 prominent celestial alchemists' attention was on how extraordinary Yuan Lingtan's celestial fire was. They completely disregarded his skills and techniques. It was clear they were envious of his celestial fire. Fortunately, celestial fire could not be stolen by another person. Otherwise, they would have already attacked Yuan Lingtan to steal his celestial fire. He's starting to dissolve the pill. As soon as Yuan Lingtan had completed the 5th step, he immediately proceeded with the 6th step, the pill dissolving step. The pill refining step was to refine the medicinal ingredients. The next step, the pill dissolving step, was to turn the refined ingredients into liquid. This process also fully relied on the power of the celestial fire. Therefore, it did not take long for Yuan Lingtan to complete this step as well. Even his pill dissolving technique is terrible. Well, it seems like he's truly capable of refining the overarching heaven pill. However, his techniques and skills are weak. He's not worthy of his celestial fire. I don't understand how a weak prominent celestial alchemist like him managed to obtain such a remarkable prominent celestial fire. After spending some time to dissolve the ingredients, Yuan Lingtan continued to the 7th step, the spirit gathering step. The spirit gathering step required the help of the celestial fire as well, even though it was not as much as the previous steps. Therefore, Yuan Lingtan had to spend significantly more time on this step. Well, His spirit-gathering techniques are not bad. It's not so crude. However, it's still a far cry from us. Without the help of his powerful prominent celestial fire, this step will not be successful. His spirit-gathering step is successful only because of his prominent celestial fire. Based on what I've seen so far, I can confidently say his techniques are only mediocre. I agree. Soon, Duan Lingtan continued on to the 8th step. The pill-forming step. Just as the 3 prominent celestial alchemists had predicted, Duan Lingtan's pill-forming technique was crude as well. Duan Lingtan would have undoubtedly failed if it were not for his remarkable prominent celestial fire. Finally, Duan Lingtan arrived at the 9th step, the pill harvesting. It was an easy step. Not too bad. I managed to harvest 5 pills this time. Duan Lingtan muttered to himself. He was fully focused on refining the pills that he had completely forgotten there were 4 other people observing him. 5 pills. He harvested 5 pills. Unbelievable. Based on his techniques and level, he's at most at the early stage of a prominent celestial alchemist. However, he managed to successfully refine 5 overarching heaven pill. The 3 prominent celestial alchemists communicated through voice transmission as they looked at each other in disbelief. Although it's hard to accept, there's no doubt he has proven himself. Don't forget, he's not even 100 years old. Yang Chong said through voice transmission to Situ Ming and Yu Zongjing. Not even a 100 years old. How rare was it for someone who was not even 100 years old to be able to master pill refining techniques regardless of how crude they were. Moreover, when the 3 prominent celestial alchemists were Duan Lingtan's age, they were far inferior to him. 5 overarching heaven pills. Bai Ping, the sect leader of the Taiyi celestial sect, was relieved and overjoyed when he saw Duan Lingtan successfully refining the overarching heaven pills. Moreover, Duan Lingtan had managed to refine 5 overarching heaven pills. He was not stingy with his praise. 5 overarching heaven pills. Master Duan, your pill refining techniques are truly remarkable. Brilliant. In Bai Ping's opinion, Duan Lingtan's skill was far superior to the 3 prominent celestial alchemists in his sect. Naturally, the 3 prominent celestial alchemists were displeased when they heard Bai Ping's words. However, there was nothing they could say. After all, celestial fires played a big part in refining pills and could also be counted as one's skill. Although Duan Lingtan's pill refining technique was only average, they could not say anything since the result spoke for itself. At this moment, Duan Lingtan said, 3 masters, the purpose of me refining the overarching heaven pills and to become the chief celestial alchemist of the Taiyi celestial sect is to deal with the martial dragon celestial sect and the thousand spiders celestial sect. Duan Lingtan could brag about his success in refining the overarching heaven pill, and yet, he did not. He looked at the 3 prominent celestial alchemists and said, Guardian Tai had killed 2 men from the other 2 major celestial sects since they defended me. The chief celestial alchemist of the Taiyi celestial sect. If I weren't the chief celestial alchemist of the sect, I'm afraid they would make things difficult for Guardian Tai and the sect. I know my pill refining technique is only average, and the reason for my success is largely due to my prominent celestial fire. Indeed, with my skills, without the celestial fire, I'm not qualified to be the chief celestial alchemist of the sect. However, I hope all of you will cooperate and make it known to the public that I'm the chief celestial alchemist of the sect to avoid trouble. However, I don't mind it being an empty title as long as no one knows about it. Duan Lingtan clearly knew of his skills, and he knew the 3 prominent celestial alchemists could see through his skills as well. They must know his success was largely due to his remarkable celestial fire. Bai Ping and the 3 prominent celestial alchemists were truly shocked by Duan Lingtan's humble words. Shocked by Duan. Chapter 2792, 8 Trigrams Celestial Duke. Seeing how humble Duan Lingtan was, the 3 men felt a little embarrassed. After all, They had been criticizing Duan Lingtan's alchemy skills just a moment ago. At the same time, their impression of Duan Lingtan rose. Although Duan Lingtan owned such a remarkable prominent celestial fire and managed to become a prominent celestial alchemist at such a young age, despite his lacking refinement in techniques, it was still a great feat. Instead of being arrogant, he still maintained a humble attitude. Master Duan, I, Situ Ming, am a man of my words. From now on, you'll be known as the chief celestial alchemist of the Taiyi celestial sect to the public and to the people in the sect. I acknowledge you. Situ Ming was the first to speak. That's right. Yang Chong said, Master Duan, although your alchemy methods rely more on your prominent celestial fire is also part of your skill. Perhaps, your techniques are not as refined as mine, but you're far more efficient than me. Therefore, I'm also willing to acknowledge you as the chief celestial alchemist of the Taiyi celestial sect. His eyes shone brightly as he looked at Duan Lingtan. I agree. Yu Zongjing was the last to speak up. He was also willing to acknowledge Duan Lingtan as the chief celestial alchemist of the Taiyi celestial sect. What are you guys talking about? Bai Ping, the sect leader of the Taiyi celestial sect, was slightly confused. He did not understand their words. It seemed like the three prominent celestial alchemists of his sect did not think highly of Duan Lingtan's techniques. However, if Duan Lingtan's techniques were lacking, how could he refine the overarching heaven pill? Moreover, Duan Lingtan even managed to refine 5 overarching heaven pills at one go. Realization finally dawned on Bai Ping after Yang Chong explained the matter to him. The reason Master Duan's is so skilled and efficient is largely due to his prominent celestial fire. Moreover, his level is only comparable to early-stage prominent celestial alchemists. Yang Chong looked at Duan Lingtan and sighed before he continued to say, however, it's undeniable that Master Duan is a genius in the field of alchemy. After all, he's not even 100 years of age. The youngest of the three of us is already more than 10,000 years old. Even Master Yu, who was the last to become a prominent celestial alchemist among the three of us, has already been a prominent celestial alchemist for 3,000 years. With time and hard work, even someone with no talent would improve. This is probably why our skills are better than Master Duan for now. For all these reasons, I willingly acknowledge him as the chief celestial alchemist of the Taiyi celestial sect. Although Duan Lingtan knew that his techniques were average, he did not expect the three prominent celestial alchemists would rate him as an early-state prominent celestial alchemist. After all, he had studied alchemy for a long time, even when he was still in the mundane realm. It seems like there's a difference in techniques in the Devata realms and the mundane realms. Moreover, my knowledge of alchemy is gained through the memories of the rebirth martial emperor in the mundane realm. This is probably why I can only be considered as an early-stage prominent celestial alchemist. As expected, I still have a long way to go to become a full-fledged prominent celestial alchemist. With this, Duan Lingtan was made aware of his shortcomings. Based on Yang Chong's words, he discovered he was only considered outstanding due to his third form Chaos Divine Flame. What he needed to improve was experiences and guidance from his seniors. All three of you are my seniors. I'm fortunate enough to obtain a remarkable prominent celestial fire that allowed me to refine the overarching heaven pill, but my techniques are still lacking. I'd like to request the three of you to guide me in the future. Duan Lingtan said to the three prominent celestial alchemists. Most people liked modest people. Due to how humble he was, Situ Ming and the other two took a liking to Duan Lingtan. They had no objection to guiding him. The atmosphere in the hall was good. Duan Lingtan and three prominent celestial alchemists seemed to get along well. Upon seeing this, Bai Ping felt relieved. At least, he was certain the three prominent celestial alchemists would not leave the sect when he made Duan Lingtan the chief celestial alchemist of the Taiyi celestial sect. Moreover, he noticed the three men looked at Duan Lingtan affectionately, like an elder looking at a youngster with a bright future. It seems like Master Situ, Master Yang, and Master Yu think Master Duan has great potential. Bai Ping could discern this much. According to Master Yang and Master Duan's words, it seems like Master Duan is only so skilled now because of his prominent celestial fire. He also realized there was still room for improvement in regard to Duan Lingtan's alchemy techniques. At this moment, Situ Ming looked at Duan Lingtan and said with a sigh, "Master Duan, with your prominent celestial fire, young age, and high potential, sooner or later you'll be one of the top celestial alchemists in the spirit overarching heaven as long as you don't die young." "I agree." Yu Zongjing nodded in agreement. Compared with Situ Ming and Yang Chong, he had not spoken much. However, he shared the same thoughts with the other two. "Master Duan, the three of us are definitely ranked in the top 5 in the wasteland in terms of alchemy. If you have any questions in the future, you can look for us," Yang Chong said. Duan Lingtan, who was standing at the side, nodded. "Master Situ, it seems you regard Master Duan highly. You said he'll be one of the top celestial alchemists in the spirit overarching heaven sooner or later?" Bai Ping was stunned by Yang Chong's high praise of Duan Lingtan. The way he looked at Duan Lingtan had changed as well. In the end, seeing the 4 people chatting intimately, he did not want to disturb them, so he silently left. Meanwhile, Duan Lingtan, who was chatting with Situ Ming, Yang Chong, and Yu Zongjing, learned many new things. For example, he learned about the Supreme Celestial Pills and Supreme Celestial Alchemists. As it turned out, Supreme Celestial Alchemists were divided into grades like Supreme Celestial Weapons Craftsmen. Above the prominent Celestial Alchemists were Duke Celestial Alchemists. Above the Duke Celestial Alchemists were King Celestial Alchemists. Above the King Celestial Alchemists were Royal Celestial Alchemists. Above Royal Celestial Alchemists were Emperor Celestial Alchemists. Supreme Celestial Pills were also divided into grades similar to how Celestial Alchemists were divided. Supreme Celestial Weapons Craftsmen and Supreme Celestial Weapons are also divided into multiple levels. I suspected it's the same for Celestial Alchemists and Celestial Pills. As it turns out, I'm right. Duan Lingtan sighed. As the saying went, a single conversation with a wise man is worth a month of studying of books. After speaking to the 3 experienced prominent celestial alchemists from the Taiyi celestial sect, he felt his horizon had broadened. The 4 of them chatted until night fell before they finally decided to leave. "Master Duan, if you have any questions about alchemy in the future, you can come to me. I'll try my best to help you to the best of my abilities," Situ Ming said to Duan Lingtan before he left. After talking to Duan Lingtan, Situ Ming also had a better grasp of Duan Lingtan's character. He could tell that Duan Lingtan was humble and intelligent. Duan Lingtan was someone worth teaching. "Same for me." "Me too." Yang Chong and Yu Zongjing also made the same promise. In the 3 prominent celestial alchemists' eyes, Duan Lingtan was a promising and highly talented celestial alchemist. It was destined that he would surpass them in the future, whether it was in regard to cultivation base or alchemy. Therefore, they all cherished the opportunity to get along with Duan Lingtan as equals now. After all, they all could only look up to him in the future when he matured. At that time, it would be difficult for them to treat him as an equal. They believed the relationship they formed with Duan Lingtan today would be beneficial to them for life. "You can also look for me if you have any questions outside of alchemy, Master Duan." In addition to being a prominent celestial alchemist, I have also achieved a breakthrough in my cultivation in recent years, Situ Ming said again as he paused in his steps. "As long as I can solve the problem, I will help you out, Master Duan. If I can't solve it, I will ask the sect leader and the supreme elders to help you. If all else fails, I'll go to the Taiyi's patriarch." The Taiyi's patriarch? Duan Lingtan was shocked. This was the first time he had heard about the patriarch of the Taiyi celestial sect. Based on Situ Ming's words, the patriarch seemed to be even stronger than Bai Ping and the supreme elders of the sect. It's no secret that the sect leader and the supreme elders of the Taiyi celestial sect are 7-star celestial dukes. Does this mean the patriarch is the 8 Trigrams celestial duke that Brother Pei mentioned? Trigrams Chapter 2793, Time Flies. Previously, Duan Lingtan had learned from the mysterious Brother Pei that there were 18 Trigrams celestial duke in each of the 3 major celestial sects of the wasteland. However, everyone in the wasteland thought 7-star celestial dukes were the strongest existence in the wasteland. For this reason, he knew the 3 major celestial sects of the wasteland had kept the presence of their 8 Trigrams celestial dukes a secret. With Situ Ming mentioning the Tai celestial sect's patriarch, he confirmed Brother Pei's words. Moreover, Situ Ming's eyes were different when he spoke about the patriarch. It was completely different from when he spoke about the sect leaders of the Supreme Elders. Therefore, Duan Lingtan knew the patriarch of the Tai celestial sect was an 8 Trigrams celestial duke. That's right, Master Duan. If you need any help in the future, you can speak up. I will try my best to help you if I can. Yang Chong chimed in. Then, Yu Zongjing also nodded and said, "Me too." The 3 prominent celestial alchemists of the Tai celestial sect could see that Duan Lingtan would reach great heights in the future, therefore, they knew it was important to maintain a good relationship with Duan Lingtan. They knew this was the best opportunity for them to help Duan Lingtan. In the future, Duan Lingtan might not even need their help at all. Moreover, there would be many people clamoring to help him. Thank you. Duan Lingtan was slightly flattered by the 3 people's enthusiasm. Unlike the other 3, he did not think that far into the future. He was polite to the 3 men since it was better to befriend them to make an enemy out of them for no good reason. Moreover, he did have many questions regarding alchemy that he wanted to ask the prominent celestial alchemists. Now that they were in the same sect, it would be easy for him to ask them questions. Since I've gotten the approval from the sect leader, the Left Guardian, and the 3 prominent celestial alchemists of the Tai celestial sect, I'll have a firm foothold in the sect, Duan Lingtan thought to himself. News of a chief celestial alchemist in the Tai celestial sect continued to spread like a wildfire. Even people in the distant land in the wasteland heard about it. Duan Lingtan is the chief celestial alchemist in the Tai celestial sect. Heavens! That young man, Duan Lingtan, actually became the chief celestial alchemist of the Tai celestial sect. I thought Tai he, the Left Guardian of the Tai celestial sect, was just making an empty promise in order to entice Duan Lingtan to join the Tai celestial sect. I didn't think he was serious. Rumor has it that Duan Lingtan is younger than 100 years old. How can they appoint someone so young as the chief celestial alchemist of the Tai celestial sect? Did the high-ranking officials of the sect consider the feelings of the 3 prominent celestial alchemists of the Tai celestial sect? The 3 prominent celestial alchemists of the Tai celestial sect are all highly skilled prominent celestial alchemists. However, a young man is now their chief. I bet they leave the sect in a fit of anger. If that's the case, the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect and the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect will be able to benefit greatly from this. They might be able to recruit the 3 prominent celestial alchemists into their sects. Similar discussions could be heard all over Tai City. Everyone felt that the high-ranking officials of the Tai Celestial Sect had unwisely disregarded the 3 prominent celestial alchemists in favor of a young and untried prominent celestial alchemist. He really became the chief celestial alchemist of the Tai celestial sect? Are the high-ranking officials of the Tai celestial sect crazy? They're really disregarding the 3 senior prominent celestial alchemists for a prominent celestial alchemist who's not even 100 years old? How foolish. They're penny-wise but pound-foolish. I really can't figure out what the high-ranking officials of the Tai celestial sect are thinking. Is it worth it? In the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom's residence in Tai City, the people were in disbelief when they heard the news. At the same time, they were relieved. They felt increasingly convinced that the Emperor made the right choice by appointing Long Fian, the 13th of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, as the Crown Prince. Long Fian, naturally, heard about the news as well. Brother Duan really became the chief celestial alchemist of the Tai celestial sect? Although he had been mentally prepared for this, he was still a little stunned when he heard this. What a surprise! He has become the chief celestial alchemist of the Tai celestial sect in just a blink of an eye. Kuling stood behind Long Fian, sighing emotionally. Brother Juan is my benefactor. Since I met him, my path to the throne has been smooth. I've become the crown prince because of him. This is something I didn't even dare to imagine before. Long Fian said with a sigh. His eyes were brimming gratitude when he spoke. He was extremely grateful to Juan Lingtan. Although the residence arranged by Tai Celestial Sect for the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom was not as good as the one arranged for the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, many people felt emotional about the news as well there. One of them was, naturally, Kinyu. I didn't expect Yuan Lingtan to become the chief celestial alchemist of the Tai Celestial Sect. I'm really happy for him. However, the gap between me and him is getting wider and wider. Kinyu was happy for Yuan Lingtan, but at the same time, he lamented the fact that the gap between him and Yuan Lingtan was getting bigger and bigger. Therefore, he became even more motivated. It's impossible to catch up to Yuan Lingtan. I just hope that I can get closer to him in the future. He was well aware of it. Meanwhile, King Qin, the former ruler of King Qin's mansion and the current emperor of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom, sighed when he heard the news. What a surprise that the purple-clad young man who escaped from the Celestial Duke of the Compassionate Celestial Traveler Sect has such a lofty status now. At that time, the purple-clad young man had to rely on a celestial talisman to escape from the Celestial Duke of the Compassionate Celestial Traveler Sect. Currently, he had become the chief celestial alchemist of the Tai Celestial Sect, one of the three major celestial sects of the wasteland. If I have the opportunity, I must personally visit and thank him. If it weren't for him, Yua wouldn't have been able to join the Tai Celestial Sect, and I wouldn't be the Emperor of the Cloudy Rock Celestial Kingdom, King Qin thought to himself. As news about Yuan Lingtan becoming the chief celestial alchemist of the Tai Celestial Sect spread, the incident of the elder of the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect, Teng King, and the guardian of the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect, Xlang, being killed by the left guardian of the Tai Celestial Sect, Tai He, had long been forgotten. Although the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect and the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect had no good reasons to make a fuss, they were secretly scheming. This was also due to Yuan Lingtan becoming the chief celestial alchemist of the Tai Celestial Sect. When they learned that Yuan Lingtan was not even 100 years old, they thought that he was only an ordinary prominent celestial alchemist. For this reason, they were rather certain the three prominent celestial alchemists of Tai Celestial Sect would definitely feel dissatisfied about Yuan Lingtan becoming the chief celestial alchemist of the Tai Celestial Sect. As long as the three prominent celestial alchemists were dissatisfied, they would be able to entice the three of them to join their respective sect with just a little effort. However, reality was truly cruel. No matter what the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect and the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect did, the three prominent celestial alchemists of the Tai Celestial Sect refused them. Their refusal would get harsher and harsher as time passed. Back then, the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect and the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect had tried to win over the three prominent celestial alchemists. However, the three prominent celestial alchemists were still polite when rejecting them. However, now, the three prominent celestial alchemists were no longer polite. What's going on? The people from the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect and the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect were dumbfounded. What the hell was going on? It did not make sense at all. However, they did not know the reason the three prominent celestial alchemists of the Tai Celestial Sect were so stubborn and adamant about not leaving the Tai Sect was due to the new chief celestial alchemist. In the eyes of the three prominent celestial alchemists, it was far better to stay in the Tai Celestial Sect and maintain a good relationship with Yuan Lingtan than to defect to the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect or the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect. Previously, it did not matter to them much which sect they belonged to. However, now, they wanted to stay in the Tai Celestial Sect due to the extraordinarily talented chief celestial alchemist. This was something the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect and the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect would not expect even in their wildest dreams. Time flew by quickly, And soon the Wasteland Grand Contest was just right around the corner. A group of figures swiftly rushed out from the Thousands Spiders Celestial Sect's estate, heading in the direction of Taiyi City. Among these people, there were disciples and high-ranking officials of the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect. Duan Lingtan is the chief celestial alchemist of the Taiyi Celestial Sect. How's this possible? After returning from the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom, Zusuku had been cultivating in seclusion, so she was not aware of the matters of the outside world. She had only come out of closed-door cultivation today to head to Taiyi City with the people from the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect to watch the Wasteland Grand Contest when she heard the shocking news. Chapter 2794, The Golden Buddha, Teng Shan. Meanwhile, Zusuku was shocked when she learned that Duan Lingtan was a prominent celestial alchemist. He's a prominent celestial alchemist? Many of her questions were answered as well. That's why Longfian, the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom's 13th prince, was willing to exchange a Duke-grade celestial weapon for a prominent celestial pill cauldron. Her gaze was extremely complicated at this moment. A great overarching golden celestial and a prominent celestial alchemist who was younger than 100 years old. It was her first time meeting such a genius. Duan Lingtan was the only man she knew who was both a great overarching golden celestial and a prominent celestial alchemist before he reached the age of 100. Zusuku continued thinking to herself, he's now instated as the chief celestial alchemist in the Taiyi Celestial Sect. Based on what I heard from Master and Senior Sister, those three prominent celestial alchemists from the Taiyi Celestial Sect are stubborn and have a fiery temper. Would they be willing to submit to a prominent celestial alchemist? Soon after, Zusuku learned from another about the actions that the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect had made in the dark. The person was a young lady with a plain appearance who was also plainly dressed. However, she had a charming aura about her that made people feel comfortable around her. The plainly dressed lady said, "Kua, your senior sister has repeatedly sent people to privately contact the three prominent celestial alchemists of the Taiyi Celestial Sect to take advantage of their dissatisfaction with Duan Lingtan so we can recruit him into our sect. However, they've harshly rejected us. Your senior sister even personally reached out to them but was also rejected. Although it had to be said, they weren't as harsh to her." That's strange. I wonder what happened? Zusuku was curious. Why did the attitude of the three prominent celestial alchemists of the Taiyi Celestial Sect completely different from what she had imagined? We're curious as well. Initially, we thought the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect took action faster than we did, so they rejected our offer harshly. However, we found out later they're not working with the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect either, the plainly dressed lady said with a gloomy expression. Your senior sister and I have many speculations. In the end, we concluded that those three must have rejected us due to the Chief Celestial Alchemist. How's that possible? With the addition of Chief Celestial Alchemist, shouldn't they be thinking of leaving the Taiyi Celestial Sect due to dissatisfaction? Zusuku could not understand what was going on. That's what it seems like on the surface. However, if those three prominent celestial alchemists have something to gain from the chief celestial alchemists such as rare pill formulas, it'd make sense why they rejected us, the plainly dressed lady explained. Yes, that's possible. Zusuku nodded after mulling over it for a moment. Kua, I heard that you're acquainted with the chief celestial alchemist of the Taiyi Celestial Sect? The plainly dressed lady asked. Yes, Junior Aunt. Zusuku nodded. The plainly dressed lady was one of the 2 7-stars Celestial Dukes in the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect. The other 7 stars Celestial Duke was the former sect leader. The current sect leader was merely a 6 combination Celestial Duke. The senior sister that the plainly dressed lady kept mentioning was the current sect leader of the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect. The Wasteland Grand Contest that was organized by the 3 major celestial sects of the Wasteland was to recruit young powerhouses below the age of 100 to enter the little world left behind by a celestial king to search for treasures. Therefore, the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect took the matter very seriously. Hence, they sent out the plainly dressed lady who was a 7-star celestial dukes. I heard that he bullied your 4th sister, but you didn't seek revenge from him? The plainly dressed lady asked. Yes. Zusuku nodded. Rumors are flying outside that you know he has an extraordinary background. However, from what I know, you didn't even investigate his background at all. Moreover, I found out he was chased by an elder from the Compassionate Celestial Traveler Sect and used a Shadow Void escaping talisman to escape. It's normal for you to assume he has an extraordinary background since he possessed a Shadow Void escaping talisman. However, it would still be easy for you to avenge your sister without implicating our sect or yourself. All you needed to do is to inform the Compassionate Celestial Traveler Sect, and they would, naturally, deal with him. You didn't do that though. From what I know, you and that genius disciple of the Compassionate Celestial Traveler Sect, Murong Bing, are good friends, right? I don't know why the Compassionate Celestial Traveler Sect wants to kill him. However, since they sent out a core elder to kill him, it's clear he's on their blacklist. If you report his location to Murong Bing, she would definitely inform her sect leader about it. With that, she would even gain merits. I'm really curious why you didn't do any of that. The plainly dressed lady looked at Zusuku with a sharp gaze as though she could read Zusuku's mind. Junior aunt, I truly have no idea about his origin. Zusuku felt guilty when faced with the plain-clad lady's penetrating gaze. In the end, she revealed the reason why she did not avenge her 4th sister. As you know, Murong Bing is a good friend of mine. I didn't deal with him because she has asked a favor from me. She asked me to keep an eye on him and help him out if he's faced with any danger if possible. Murong Bing asked you to keep an eye on him? Isn't he being hunted by a core elder of the Compassionate Celestial Traveler Sect? The plainly dressed lady asked. I'm not sure as well. However, this is the reason I didn't do anything to him and didn't reveal his whereabouts to the Compassionate Celestial Traveler Sect, Zusuku said. Although she was being frank, she did not reveal all things. For example, she did not reveal the relationship between Duan Lingten and Murong Bing. After all, she cared about Murong Bing's reputation. As the Wasteland Grand Contest drew close, the Taiyi city became even livelier. On this day, silence suddenly descended on the east gate of Taiyi city. Even the passers-by stopped moving. Isn't that the members of the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect? The onlookers looked at the group of people approaching the eastern gate from outside Taiyi city. The group of people was too ostentatious. There were about 20 of them, and they walked with their noses pointed at the sky. Moreover, all of them were shrouded by a golden light. Upon closer inspection, one would be able to see that the golden light that shrouded their bodies collectively formed the figure of a golden Buddha. The aura from the golden Buddha was terrifying, causing many of the onlookers' hearts to race. A monk led the group. The monk was tall and burly with 9 precept scars on his head. He was wearing a golden robe and had a precept knife and a wine gourd hanging from his waist. The most eye-catching thing about the monk was his ugly and ferocious face. With just a slight change in his expression, he would be able to make a child cry. It was obvious that the golden light that shrouded the group of people and formed a golden Buddha came from this monk. Suddenly, someone exclaimed, is he Teng Shan, the golden Buddha? Upon hearing this, some people were confused. However, there were also some who were frightened and were in disbelief. Golden Buddha. Teng Shan? The Golden Buddha, Teng Shan, is the former sect leader of their Martial Dragon Celestial Sect, right? I thought he died 3,000 years ago. Yes, I heard that when he went out 3,000 years ago, he battled with a sectless cultivator and died together with his opponent. At that time, the incident had caused an uproar in the wasteland for quite a long time. So he didn't die? Teng Shan was already a 7-star Celestial Duke 3,000 years ago. If he didn't die, doesn't that mean that the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect also has a 3rd 7-star Celestial Duke? As the discussion went on, more and more people had a horrified expression on their faces when they looked at the ugly and fierce monk. There's no doubt he's Teng Shan, the Golden Buddha. I saw him from afar 5,000 years ago. It's him. An old man confirmed the identity of the monk. If he's the Golden Buddha, even if he's still a 7-star Celestial Duke now, He should be far stronger than the other two 7-star celestial dukes of the martial dragon celestial sect. He used to defeat those two even when those two joined forces against him. The onlookers had guessed the monk's identity correctly. However, they were unaware that the monk was now an 8 Trigrams celestial duke. After all, if the martial dragon celestial sect had an 8 Trigrams celestial duke, they would have taken over the Tai celestial sect and the 1,000 spiders celestial sect a long time ago. 1,000 spiders celestial. Chapter 2795, Liu Yanjun, the Supreme Elder of the 1,000 Spiders Celestial Sect, the Golden Buddha, Teng Shan? Didn't he die 3,000 years ago? How can he still be alive? Did he fake his death? Of course. Otherwise, how's he here in Tai City? It looks like the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect takes the Wasteland Grand Contest very seriously. Otherwise, why would the Golden Buddha, Teng Shan, who has been in hiding for so many years, personally make a visit here? News of the members from the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect being led by Teng Shan, the Golden Buddha, to Tai City spread like a wildfire. This, naturally, caused a huge commotion. After all, many people had assumed Teng Shan had died many years ago. How could they not be shocked when someone whom they had assumed was dead suddenly showed up alive and well? Unlike most people in Tai City who were shocked by this news, the high-ranking officials of the Tai Celestial Sects and the 1,000 Spiders Celestial Sect were not shocked that Teng Shan was alive. Not only that, but they also knew he was an 8 Trigrams Celestial Duke and the strongest person in the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect. On the contrary, they were more shocked that Teng Shan had personally come to Tai City. In the 1,000 Spiders Celestial Sect, Teng Shan? He actually came? What's happening? Although the contest is related to the little world left behind by a celestial king, there's no need for him to personally make the trip here, right? In the Tai Celestial Sect, Teng Shan? He personally led the members of his sect here? Tai, the left guardian of the Tai Celestial Sect, was extremely shocked when he learned of the news from the communication celestial talisman. Teng Shan? Duan Lingtan looked at Tai in confusion. Coincidentally, Tai had come looking for Duan Lingtan today. When he regained his senses and saw Duan Lingtan looking at him in confusion, he explained, he's an 8 Trigrams Celestial Duke from the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect. 8 Trigrams Celestial Duke? Duan Lingtan narrowed his eyes and continued asking, Guardian Tai, why do you think the 8 Trigrams Celestial Duke from the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect personally led the members of his sect here? Isn't the Wasteland Grand Contest about to start? After the arrival of the group from the 1,000 Spiders Celestial Sect, the group from the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect has also arrived. He paused. He did not answer Duan Lingtan's question. Before he muttered, who knew Teng Shan would lead the group here? An 8 Trigrams Celestial Duke leading the group here. Duan Lingtan could not help feel shocked. Is it possible that the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect thinks they have a higher chance of recruiting excellent powerhouses with the presence of an 8 Trigrams Celestial Duke? Impossible. He shook his head. The 3 major celestial sects of the Wasteland had long come to an agreement that we would fairly share the best participants of the Wasteland Grand Contest that we'll send into the little world. After a while, he added, so what if the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect has an 8 Trigrams Celestial Duke leading their group? Do you think that our Tai Celestial Sect and the 1,000 Spiders Celestial Sect have no 8 Trigrams Celestial Duke? Moreover, the 8 Trigrams Celestial Duke in our sect possesses a king-grade celestial weapon. With the celestial weapon, Teng Shan is no match for our patriarch at all. A hint of scorn could be heard in his voice when he was approaching the end of his words. His eyes were brimming with extreme confidence when he spoke about the 8 Trigrams Celestial Duke of the Tai Celestial Sect who was also the patriarch. Duan Lingtan said skeptically, then, why would he personally come? I find it strange as well. He frowned. Teng Shan, the 8 Trigrams Celestial Duke of the Martial Dragon Celestial Sect, is the former sect leader. However, The outside world began to spread rumors 3,000 years ago that he had died. Only a handful of high-ranking members of the three major celestial sects of the wasteland knew the truth of the matter. By revealing himself this time, he seems to want the world to know that he didn't die. He must be up to something. He seemed sure of it. I agree, Teng Shan must be planning something for him to show up after all this time. Ling Tan nodded. It was not difficult to guess that Teng Shan was probably scheming something when he suddenly chose to reveal himself after hiding away for 3,000 years. Regardless of the reason why Teng Shan chose to reveal himself, he won't be able to do as he pleases in Tai Celestial Sect's territory. He was clearly very confident about the Tai Celestial Sect's strength. Ling Tan could understand Tai's confidence. After all, the Tai Celestial Sect did not only have an 8 Trigrams Celestial Duke but also a King-grade Celestial weapon that the other two major Celestial Sects in the Wasteland did not have. All of a sudden, Tai raised his hand at lightning speed and grabbed something in the air. Meanwhile, Ling Tan could clearly see that a celestial talisman that slowly turned into dust in Tai's hand. He knew it was a communication celestial talisman with just a glance. After Tai read the communication celestial talisman, he immediately looked at Ling Tan and said, "Alchemist Duan, this communication celestial talisman is sent by our sect leader. He said that the Supreme Elder of the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect wants to meet you." The Supreme Elder of the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect? Is she that 7 stars Celestial Duke who led the members of the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect here? Ling Tan cocked an eyebrow when he heard Tai's words. "Yes, it's her." Tai nodded. "Other than her, there's another person who came to visit the Tai Celestial Sect as well. I think you're familiar with that person." "Who's it?" Ling Tan asked. He did not seem to register that he said he was familiar with that person. "Zusuiku." Tai replied. "Zusuiku?" Ling Tan slightly frowned when he heard the name. He had met that woman twice. The first time he met her, they were on a street in the capital of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. At that time, she told him about how the compassionate Celestial Traveler Sect had arranged a marriage for Murong Bing, forcing him to go to that mysterious young man with the surname Pei and ask him to stop that marriage. The second time was in the Imperial Palace of the Soaring Dragon Celestial Kingdom. At that time, she even expressed her intention to recruit him into the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect. "Why are they looking for me?" Ling Tan asked. He believed that Zusuiku must have already learned that he was a prominent celestial alchemist and the chief celestial alchemist of the Tai Celestial Sect. Was it possible that she still had not given up on recruiting him? Sect leader didn't say much in the communication celestial talisman. "He only told me to ask you if you're willing to meet them. If you aren't, he will reject them on your behalf." He said. "It's fine, I'll meet them. I'm also interested to know what they want from me," Ling Tan said. Although he could choose not to meet them, he could not help but feel curious. There was only one place where the high-ranking officials of the Tai Celestial Sect would meet their guests. The place was close to the main island where Ling Tan resided. It was located on one of the prominent celestial islands. A sprawling and beautiful mansion could be seen on this island. The mansion was sparsely decorated and only had a huge hall. Regardless, it did not detract from its beauty. When Ling Tan and Tai entered the hall, Ling Tan saw 3 figures instantly. One of them was Bai Ping, the sect leader of the Tai Celestial Sect, and Zusuiku. He was not familiar with the third figure. She had an ordinary appearance and was plainly dressed. However, she had an extraordinary bearing that made her seem attractive. People would definitely take a few glances at her. Moreover, there was something about her that made people feel comfortable around her. All in all, she was pleasing to the eyes. It was not difficult for Ling Tan to guess the identity of the third figure. She must be Liu Yanjun, the other Supreme Elder of the Thousand Spiders Celestial Sect. Prior to this, He had learned that there were two supreme elders in the Thousand Spiders celestial sect. They were both 7 stars celestial dukes. Rumor had it that the current sect leader was only a 6 combination celestial duke. This meant that word on the street was the sect leader of the Thousand Spiders celestial sect was weaker than the sect leaders of the Tai Yi celestial sect and the Martial Dragon celestial sect, who were 7 stars celestial dukes. However, with his current status, he had become privy to information that not many people knew. For example, Teng Shan, the Golden Buddha, the former sect leader of their Martial Dragon celestial sect, who faked his death 3,000 years ago, was now an 8 Trigrams celestial duke. Apart from that, he also learned that the sect leader of the Thousand Spiders celestial sect, whom many thought was a 6 combination celestial duke, had broken through and became a 7-star celestial duke. And her master, one of the supreme elders, who was also Zushuku's master, had long become an 8 Trigrams celestial duke.